Hey, how you doing? Oh, I've tried this video several times today, and for some reason we're just getting bad reception or something's going on. Um, this video is about you spending a third of your life in your bed, and so 30% of your life is in your bed, and this video is about how that can kill you. We're not going to get into all the house stuff. This is just one little aspect that I researched a little bit today. Um, I am writing a book on things that go wrong in our homes and how we could live longer in our homes. And the other day I had a pair of jeans. I usually don't have buy new jeans, but my hands were blue, and I'm like, why are my hands blue? And I washed them, and they're blue again, and the dye was coming from the jeans. And so, and I usually buy used clothes at the secondhand store because it's just cheaper and I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I get $100 shoes for $5, so I don't really care. Um, I'm not out to impress the world, and so my clothes gets washed a lot, so I don't have as big of a problem. New clothes is a problem. We're going to talk about the different types of fabrics. So, and we're going to talk about the bed. We're going to talk about lighting, and we're going to talk about what's in your closet, and we're going to talk about what you're breathing and what your skin's being exposed to. Now, you want to be aware of everything today, and once you're aware of it, then you could decide if you want to avoid it. Okay. Another thing you want to do is I was never on this program, but I am now, the precautionary method or the precautionary way of thinking. And the reason for that is if you're not in the precautionary state of mind, you're going to wait for the government or somebody to tell you that it's bad. And by that time, it's too late. You got to make your own decision. So, if you think radio towers are a problem, then buy one of these things. This hat's like $45. It protects you. If you put a phone in this hat, it won't ring because nothing can get through it. It's metal, which is I wash it a lot, so I'm probably not absorbing any of the metal. But it's just a precautionary thing. I don't do it all the time. So precautionary is a good way of thinking because if you wait for somebody to tell you the truth, it's too late. So let's just talk about this is going to be your mattress, clothes, lighting in your bedroom, maybe killing you. Okay. So a couple things we'll just hit the fabrics real quick. So natural fabrics, are cotton, flax, hemp, bamboo, um, jute, and those are the best. They're natural. Okay, that's what's on the earth. What's not natural would be synthetics. We also have animal stuff from animals, and those are, I would say, kind of natural: wool, silk, angora, mohair, and then of course we have all the furs. Okay, now the ones that we're worried about or that are bad are the synthetic, and synthetic basically are artificial fabrics. Rayon, nylon. Acrylic, polyester. Okay. And those basically are synthetic fibers. And synthetic fibers will um, off gas. Okay. Especially right when you buy them. So I would never work in a clothes store. Think of those poor people that work there and they got to breathe all those chemicals and all those outgassing. I'm, it's got to shorten their life. And I don't think, and they're not required to tell you that anything about it. It's not like they label it off gases, whatever. So you got uh, 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 synthetic fibers that off gas, and they off gas at higher temperatures too. So, well, especially when they're heated. Okay. Now the word wrinkle free, you know, basically wrinkle free means you're breathing in plastic. And wrinkle free are these are the stain resistant. Um, I don't know. Um, they're called PFCs, and they're perfluorochemicals. Okay, and there's a ton of them. I'm not even going to try to pronounce them. Like Teflon's in there, and they tested animals and humans and found that they get into our systems. Okay, and they accumulate in our body over time. So it's probably not a good thing. All right, polyester cotton blend that's treated with formaldehyde, and they use ammonia when they use that. So I would say if you have to buy these clothes, even polyester has an antimony in it, and that is a carcinogen, which can affect hearts, lungs, liver, skin. Okay. And then as far as the color, we talked about my jeans earlier, cadmium, chromium, all kind of metals, okay, to get the colors. And then the last thing would be the fake leathers. People have fake leathers, and we're talking phthalates, PVCs, and these are definitely carcinogens. Now, phthalates are also in a lot of other stuff. So if you had like air fresheners, anything that's scented, okay, anything that smells good, you think it's not really doesn't smell good, that's scented, is completely chemical. All right, we all know that. Dry cleaning, that's another thing. So you're sitting in your bed sleeping, and you just got 4 or 5 suits you brought in, and they smell dry clean, right? Well, there's first of all, there's nothing dry about dry cleaning, number one. And as far as what they use to clean them is perchloroethylene, and they're actually going to make that illegal in California, I believe, in 2023. So see how long we've been getting our clothes dry cleaned, and now they're starting to say, hey, you can't use it anymore because it's going to kill you. And so dry cleaning, you know, basically when you put on dry cleaning, and I don't do much dry cleaning. I have like 2 suits, and we would always dry clean before a wedding or whatever. You could smell it. You get it back, and it would stink for like 4 days, and that basically is poison that's getting into you. And then if it touches your skin, it's getting absorbed. Your skin is um, it's an organ, so it'll come right through your skin, and then while you're sleeping, you're breathing all that. So and also some of the now don't forget the mattresses are made a lot of this stuff too. So maybe if you have to use dry cleaning, you could probably do it 2, 3 weeks in advance, and then hang it in your garage, you know, for like a week or two. That might be one thing you could do. I'm not sure about how you could do mattresses, because mattresses are a whole different ballgame. Mattresses are polypropylene, and what they do is they drench them in all kind of toxic chemicals because they're trying to make them fire resistant, so they don't like explode. And I think that the flame test for that is 70 seconds. So it gives you enough time to get out. And so, but the problem is that it's a one of the chemicals they put in there. And brand new mattress, you're gonna have your head right there. You can be breathing that. So I don't know how to. I would say organic mattress is the way to go. If you think you could try to dissipate it, maybe you could put the mattress in a room and heat the room up for a while, or maybe you could jump up and down on it like a trampoline, or you could buy maybe a plastic cover. You have to research to see what you could do about that whole thing, but you're going to be breathing poison fumes for a while, especially when you buy that new mattress, and because it has these fire retardants in there. And they're more worried about the fire retardants, but they're not worried about you getting sick and getting problems. And a lot of times you got to understand, you get sick, that can lead to other things. Okay, so it, it also has antimony in it, and it has, oh, here we go, boric acid. Boric acid, I mean, that's what you use to kill roaches with. And so bromated fire retardants used to be in the mattresses. They're illegal. Now, you might have an old mattress that's got some of that in it, but I'm going to say maybe if there's any outgassing of that, it's gone. And if you cover them, maybe if you cover them with plastic, and that's another thing, I have a whole section on moisture, humidity, and dust mites, and there's millions of dust mites, in old mattresses, and every time you're getting all kind of fecal pelts from these dust mites, especially your body perspires, so these things like 50% humidity, and your skin, you shed millions of scare. So that's a whole nother issue, and so maybe the plastic cover is not a bad idea. Now, a couple more things with cloths and fabrics. They have these things, constrictive clothing, and it was kind of interesting because I was looking up jeans, and I found a section that says that jeans, that if they tell you they're 34, they're really 35, because we all want to fit in our skinnier jeans and skinnier pants. Guys are wearing skinny pants now, and the problem with that, I looked at it because if you got a tie on, it's too tight, or your suit's too tight, or your belt's too tight. They call that constrictive. or constrictive clothing. And what that does is restricts your lymphatic system. And I looked this stuff up. It's crazy because the fluids that you need, uh, basically what they do is they take the poisons out of your body and they put them into your lymph nodes. And of course, then they get excreted out. The problem is that you restrict that whole lymph fluid system, and that's from ties and things that are too tight, and that can make you sick. Okay, it could be serious, and especially when you wear tight pants. I mean, some people get on their bed to put on their jeans. Think of how tight, they look good on them, but they're killing themselves. You're better off wearing loose pants. And I used to make fun out of people. I used to go to Walmart and see people wearing pajama pants. Just like, what's with these people wearing pajama pants to Walmart now? I'm not laughing at them. They're wearing cotton. They're loose. They're not off-gassing. They're natural. I don't know if I'm going to make fun of these people anymore. Okay, not going to make fun of them anymore. And so you want to try to use natural fibers. We talked about some of those. You want to buy probably organic mattresses. Okay, and I got a section of video on also bread springs. They're magnetized, and it's in some cases, depending on how much dirty electricity or harmonics you have in your home, will depend on if they become like a transmitting antenna. Yeah, pretty crazy. It's about a 20-30 minute video. And so now the other thing is, so we talked about sleeping on your bed, and we talked about the gassing, and your body absorbing, and we talked about some clothes and different fabrics. And the reason I said the fabrics was because most of the fake ones are on your mattress. They're also in your clothes, so it's kind of the same thing. And then if we're doing that, we might as well talk about dry cleaning. And I don't even know about this whole dry cleaning bit anymore. And so maybe we wear pajama pants to the wedding, right? So 58% of the people on this planet, and what people don't understand is you need so many hours of sleep. Too many hours is not good, not enough hours. Some people think they go 2 hours of sleep. Everybody's body's different. I'm definitely not a doctor. And so I'm looking at my notes for some of this stuff. So it's not like I have it all memorized either. And so the sleep thing, the thing that I did find out was it has to be pitch black. And like I do so many inspections, and I see like people's at the end of the street, and all night long that you can see the headlights that come down to the front of their house and make a left or make a right, and they're getting that little light coming through and across their ceiling while they're sleeping. Or people have we call it phantom voltage. That's where you have all these electronics plugged in. There's little teeny little red lights and blue lights and green lights, and you walk into a room. There's little lights everywhere, like looking at you, and that's like a phantom voltage that costs money, but it's also light. A lot of people sleep with their TVs on. Not a good idea. And some people like leave the door open and they have the light on, in the hallway for the bathroom because they don't want to trip. Not a good idea. So it's basically you got to have pitch dark to get proper sleep, because that's at night is where your body basically starves off infections. Free radicals, gets rid of the free radicals. Your pineal gland helps you get rid of sicknesses and viruses and all that while you sleep. And so it won't work. It won't work. Your pineal gland is not going to work properly. And if there's light, and that's a known fact. They've studied it. They've done tests. And if you don't sleep right, then you get sick. Your immune system goes down. Most of us. Okay, so we can't fight bacteria. We can't fight viruses, heart disease, diabetes, obesity, decision making. Sometimes, and it also says that um, it disrupts our clock, our body clock, you know, um, and that can affect our memory, our mood. 60% of drivers today feel drowsy. They could fall asleep. So, 100,000 police reported car crashes every year. 1,500 plus deaths from people falling asleep. 71,000 injuries, $12 billion. So your bedroom and your bed are pretty important. You're spending 30% there of your life. Now, the next thing you might want to do is once you figure that out, and let's say you do buy the mattresses and you get the fabric stuff down, then you want to start looking at the voltages, and maybe you want to remove electromagnetic fields. You don't want to have any chargers next to you. Those things are bad all night. So that's going to disrupt your sleep, especially if they're like within a foot or two. Electrical motors on those little alarm clocks are going to disrupt your sleep. If your bed is behind your power that comes in your house is going to disrupt your sleep. If you have a ground wire underneath, let's say you're above the ground wire from the main panel in the basement, that's going to disrupt your sleep. And so you got the whole electrical thing going on. You probably don't want to have dimmer switches. That's going to disrupt your sleep. If you have a Wi-Fi going on, that's going to do it. So you might want to turn that thing off at night when you go to sleep. And you might want to consider looking at light bulbs too. There's a lot of bad light bulbs that cause harmonics, and harmonics will induce dirty, well, kind of, and if you're sleeping on a mattress that's got springs on it, that could amplify the magnetism in that spring. Now you're sleeping on a antenna that's transmitting. So you may want to consider incandescent light bulbs. Those are the best. I wouldn't be doing LEDs. I have a whole video on LEDs and light bulbs and the right and wrong light bulbs to use. And you probably don't want to use compact fluorescent lights, okay, the small ones or the long ones, because those are in the wrong frequency. Now, if you're going to use those kind of lights, you want to maybe, during the day, you want to be near a window to mix it with the sunlight, okay? And so you want to make sure that it's pitch dark in your bedroom while you're sleeping. And you want to make sure that you're not getting any outgassing and VOCs. Now, some people will use air filtration devices, and you might want to check those out. They have, HEPAs and things like that. So check them out way before. I'm not sure they get rid of all the VOCs. I think if you buy new clothes, I don't know if I'd want to wear it brand new like that. I would not spend a whole lot of time shopping for clothes because that's all poison, all that gas in there. And if you do get new clothes, you must wear new clothes. You might want to wash it 2, 3 times. If you're wearing like, you know, t you might want to wear t-shirts that are cotton. You don't want anything tight, and maybe not dry, um, not take your launder your clothes because when you launder your clothes, they use all kind of fragrances too. So you don't want to use fragrances in your laundry, and you don't want to use those things you put in the dryer that makes everything smell nice. That's all poison. You don't want to touch that stuff. So there are some books that doctors write about living free from chemicals. It's not just the food we eat. We're all worried about GMOs and we're worried about pesticides, and that's all we're talking about. And you're drinking too much milk or too many eggs, or you're gonna, meat's no good, and nobody ever talks about the fabric of your bed, the clothes, the fake clothes, the fake clothes that we have, the man-made fibers, synthetic fibers that are off-gassing and our skin's absorbing it. No one ever talks about that stuff. And I can't believe that we didn't know. Well, we knew about the dry cleaning, but I didn't know they're going to make it illegal so you can't use these chemicals anymore. We've been using it for how many years? You know why? Because we weren't presumptively thinking. We were waiting for somebody to tell us. Don't wait for anybody to tell you anything. Anyways, please rate and subscribe. I'm going to be doing a couple more videos on weather modification, and then I'll start doing interior house videos. So, hey, thanks for coming on. Rate, subscribe, and share.